All spiritual traditions have included the sense of conditioning, of deconditioning yourself from all of your experience in the world as a physical body. And you can be completely quiet with some practice. We're all completely spiritual underneath the conditioning. Remember once I was in England, I think, and everyone was playing ping pong, and I picked it up for a second and then just, no, not doing that. In other words, you don't have to react to anything coming at you. If you have a serious, you're working or whatever, you do stuff, or you don't do stuff. But in your psychology, in your emotional structure, if you stop reacting to things to train yourself, this is the entirety of meditation, is to not react to anything you think, feel, believe, see, even your visions. Let them go. Don't try to bring it back. It will return and return, because there is an open state where only your vision exists. Nothing else but your vision. Your vision of God, of eternity, of purity, of beauty, of the presence of your mom and dad, your grandparents. Simply, quietly acknowledge every thought, feeling, sensation. I'm kind of warm. You have this thought or this sense, and don't react to it. In your mind, in the beginning, you can say, got it, got it. You thought about this or that, the other, got it. In other words, there's a quiet place within you that you just recognize it. Don't react to it. And after a few days, a couple weeks, you'll have it down for the rest of your life. And the older we get, the more conditioning we get, right? When you're 3 years old, 5 years old, you remember everything was so special and spectacular. When you caught a ball, when you ran with your neighbor, whatever it was, it's just so big. And because you were not conditioned, you didn't have all this glumped around you. You weren't yet this person in the material world. Because beyond it all, we're not a person in a material world. We are all a soul. Kindness, a purity, a decency, a wonder, a truth, and a wisdom. All of us. So the less we react, the less those around us will react to anything. Thought, experience, even breathing. Quiet your breathing. Let your breathing fall down to your base of your abdomen, and then feel the abdomen expanding and releasing with your inhalation, exhalation. Just experiencing it, that's another way of acknowledging or stepping away from the thought process. You'll feel this, you'll be very, very grounded. Just feel every expansion and retraction of the lower abdomen from your breathing. And you do that for 10 breaths and let your mind fall here, and just see that you're just in this openness, this purity. And it is something of the soul. It's not air, it's not oxygen anymore. It's something supernormal, something beauteous and true and real and eternal. And through that you can see eternity, because you are eternity. You are a very brave soul that gave yourself to this cause, to deposit yourself in this world system, as it were, through the aperture called birth, to become a physical being so you can communicate to our brothers and sisters that are lost in this atmosphere. And there are many that are not lost, but they're here, and they're part of the permanent conditioned process that we can call the world, the material world. And they're not even human anymore, or they're just creations of thoughts on thoughts over millennia. And that's okay. If you don't react to these that are the dark beings, there'll be no dark beings, and you'll open up further, and they're deeper, kinder, more pure condition of your soul. And one day you'll wake up forever, as though this never was. Because in the spirit, in your true mind and soul, this never was. Only that. Awaken the heart and soul, and the rest are details. Again, the older you get, the more conditioning you get, the more confused, the more time goes by, and with the process of meditation, there's no time, no place, no circumstance, no names, no experiences. It all falls away. And you become the quiet one on the hill. You are that now. Decondition ourselves, enjoy the next breath, and then the breathing will become very still. And you won't be here. That's how it ends. Not with some calamity, certainly not at the cemetery. And we're all still in contact with the dearly departed, right? We feel those we love and care for, family, friends, loved ones. They're always in our heart and soul. And we're always trying to do a little better for them, because that's how we get back to that original love, that original openness of the soul, the spirit. We are as one presence. But it's so deep, so remarkable, so refined, so thrilling, the experiences of spiritual consciousness. It's beyond just, I think of my grandmom when I'm 4 years old, and she's here and I'm there, but we never left each other. Or my teacher Kathleen, or 1,000 other people, or all the authors that I read. I was reading Dag Hammarskjöld, a great biography the other day, and he's still here. And I've always called him my friend, my dog. And he was the second Secretary General of the United Nations. Very, very spiritual. No one knew until he passed. But he lived this condition around people in the most intense circumstances possible. So I'm saying it's possible for all of us, and we don't know who that person really is around us. It was certainly my mom, certain friends I have, teachers. We feel that love with our puppies and our cats, right? Their conditioning process is very different. The older we get, the more conditioning we have, the further away we are. When we were 3, 4 years old, and the sky was our consciousness. There was an openness, remember? So you might have 3 or 4 incidents you remember and you're surprised, but the older you get, the more conditioning you get, the more circumstances, and then your mind gets overdeveloped with 1,000 different things. And in spirituality, you simply turn back the clock and you're quiet. There is that possibility. In Sanskrit, they would call it Maya, or other words for it, for the illusion, meaning there is a higher state of awareness, and the physical world, the conditioned experience we have, is literally, it's called Samsara, the illusion, or my term for it might be anxiety. All your conditionings and all the possibilities and relationships. And if you quiet yourself by deconditioning yourself, you'll arrive at a permanent place of peace. These are not just words. You'll find them in the writings of all the spiritual adepts in history. And they're always kind of begging you to understand it. They're pleading because they care. They're like a grandmom or granddad who just loves. Not there for the daily discipline, but they just, you feel their love wherever you go, whatever you do. And the parents involved in the day-to-day discipline trying to help you beyond the conditioning, well, sometimes there's a little quirks in experience there, and that's the whole idea of anxiety, samsara, the illusion. We're not physical bodies. We're all here because we volunteered for this mission to pull our friends and loved ones out from the fires of disbelief. And that's what we'll do.